Mr. Trouble never hangs around when he hears this mighty sound.
Here I come to save the day.
That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. Yes, sir, when there is a wrong to right, Mighty Mouse will join the fight. On the sea or on the land, he gets the situation well in hand.
So though we are in danger, we never despair, 'cause we know that where there's danger, he is there.
He is there on the land, on the sea, in the air. We're not worrying at all. We're just listening for his call.
Here I come to save the day.
That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. We're not worrying at all. We're just listening for his call.
Here I come to save the day.
That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way.
Elevenish.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? It's been like forever. Like, literally, that's really loud. Sorry. Hi. It's been like a week or so, probably longer actually, probably more like 10 days. Episode 41, 11ish 41. I tend to record this on the streaming service blab.im as a video recording for about 15 or 20 minutes and then put the full version on YouTube at youtube.com/r3wind. Don't ask me why I've got a URL. Alright, you can ask me, but I won't tell you on here. I'll tell you some other time. Or maybe I'll just tell you. No, I can't be asked. Alright, so we just got back from New York City. And we went there as a collective of 5 people. And the idea and the intent was to go to a lot of homeless shelters across New York. And we ended up doing 2 centres. One at a church that was run by nuns, and another one that was run by, well, they're both run by New York City Food Bank NYC. They're both run by that, but they're kind of partnered up together. And it was full on. I probably did about 60,000 steps, 70,000 steps in the week. I've never walked around New York City so much. Jumping on subways, going across town, getting on the path, like going through Harlem and kind of carrying loads of stuff, being really sweaty and hot because like it's 62 degrees in New York City in December, which is like climate change. And yeah, it was full on, but I felt like we did good. I feel like we could have done more. I feel like we could have done a couple more days, but logistics wise and trying to find food kitchens in other places in New York was kind of overwhelming. When you're in the middle of something, you really need to have everything already done, locked in, blocked in, because it's really difficult when there's a group of you all wanting to do different things, especially when you've got people who have not been there before to New York and they're kind of like blown away by the sheer size and volume and everything that goes on. It's just this city that kind of encompasses you and pulls you in and ultimately destroys you if you allow it. But it was good. No, I had a really good time. It taught me a lot about being out of the loop for the last 4 or 5 years. I'd not been back to America for 4 or 5 years and was concerned actually about flying because of all the sort of terrorist stuff and all of those usual human things that you get through your brain about travelling on a big chrome tube for 8 hours. So that was all fine. In fact, it was better than fine. I've never had such like easy flying in all of my life. Like literally, it was just the bag side of things, like getting your bags back, flying in and out was flawless. Like everything was on time. It was awesome. Like I really stressed out too much about all the flights, connecting flights, and being in customs and having to empty bags or anything like that. But there was none of that, and that was amazing. The first day that we went to a food kitchen was kind of cool. We did like a 4-hour shift, and it was prep. So it's prep and serve, and we were serving elderly, sort of over 60s, 70s, and I think they did about 83 people in about an hour, but we spent 3 hours of prep. Like, I cut a huge box of like onions up, so I was just constantly crying. And then people were doing like cucumbers and chicken and just prepping everything. And then some of the guys served some of the customers, and it was good to help out. I don't know why, but on that particular day I felt like it wasn't enough. But the one thing that came out of it is that we did have a good chat with the people who do that every single day, and the sheer numbers of people that they deal with, like 350 to 500 people a day are going through there eating. And that's just one place. There's a bunch of places all across New York in the five or six different boroughs I think they have. And I think the biggest takeaway for me was the volunteering system was so good. Like, we don't have anything like that in the UK. And so it's definitely a model to look at. And I had a bit of a chat with one of the ladies there about the project, and wanted to get an interview with her, but that all kind of was all pretty rushed. And every night when we got back, we were exhausted. I mean, we did a lot of like sightseeing with the girls as well, because Megan and Chloe wanted to go around certain places, and they went off and did their own things on certain days. But everybody rocked up at the volunteering, and that was awesome. I kind of feel that I will go back at some point maybe in the next year and do it all again, but do it each day. I feel like I didn't do it enough justice. I felt like as a group we did it justice, but I felt like my own personal thing, I felt like I really needed to be in the core of that to be able to capture the sentiment of the problem, the size of the scale of the problem. I mean, the stuff that was coming in from local bakeries, there was like donations coming in all the time. Like the second thing that we did at this hostel, this nuns hostel thing, it was just directing people in, and they had like probably about, I think that one was the 82, 83 people that we served actually, and they were really low income families, and they had a card and it had a number on it of how many people were in the family, and then they got bought in, and they had big shopping trolleys, and they sort of were allowed to pick certain bits, and really brought it home to you about how this stuff gets redistributed. And a very well oiled machine, I've got to say. You know, Food Bank NYC really have their shit together. They seem to have great partners, great resources. It seems to be a city of two sides, in terms of you've got this really low income really struggling in Harlem, then you go downtown and everything's like, you know, touristy and happiness and light in the East Village. But for me, it was the amount of, not necessarily waste, but the amount of food that, you know, that gets distributed was just an insane amount of food. Chocolate chip cookies, just by the boxes loads, just maybe, I don't know, 200 chocolate chip cookies, massive things as well. We're not talking small things. The food was the thing that really killed me actually in the week. I eat quite light, I think, compared here in the UK, mainly out of convenience, but also out of cost. But the food over there, I remember on the last day, what really hit me is I had this eggs Benedict. I think it was called something else. I can't remember what it was now, but it had like corned beef in it as well. 3 eggs with this big slab of like corned beef underneath, and it just killed me. And I was just, oh my god, this is far too much food for me to eat. So that was an intense week. You know, like New York was an intense week. I'm back now. I brought my you won't be able to see this because it'll be invisible. That's weird. Like a green box. These are from Try the World. So we went to a Try the World pop-up party, which is these great boxes that you can get as a subscription. They come with a variety of different things. This is going to be weird to have an like invisible box with things being pulled out of it. So extra olive oil, orange blossom jam, you know, a variety of different things. We went to their pop-up party and they gave us a bunch of stuff, a bunch of boxes. But also we registered Try the .world way ahead of going to the startup thing. Started the pop-up, and we built a little simple web page. If you go to Try the .world, you'll see it, and I put a video on it. We made that video in a few hours in a great space that we managed to get for free because I signed up on the service about a year ago, and I got 2 hours free. Otherwise it would have cost us about $150. But it was on the 18th floor of this building, and we went and worked there, like co-worked there, me and Dale, on this video and some graphics and some text, and then went to the pop-up party and said, hey guys, we've got this domain for you, and can we start a dialogue? It was kind of a new way of, you know, instead of having a business card, like having a digital asset that you can go and talk about and sort of get them excited about it and say, hey, you missed this domain name when you were registering yours. We didn't want anybody else to register it and put stuff on it, so like we got it for you. You can hand it over. And we're just hoping that they want to have a conversation with us further because, you know, of our creative smarts, and see if we can do some work with them. That would be awesome. Work is a major thing on my mind at the moment. I really want to start 2016 co-working over in Derby again. They have gigabit internet over in Derby, 1,000 meg internet. It's ridiculous, up and down. And it just makes working online so much easier for doing sort of video streaming, blogging, downloading content to do mashups and such like. So very keen to kind of get a solid month or two, January and February, over in Derby. I've just started to put out a new project as well. I'm going to see if I can find it and drop it into the chat. A thing called, started using a site called Tilt instead of GoFundMe. And what I like about Tilt, it's got this iPhone app, which admittedly GoFundMe has got an iPhone app, but it's not as community, I guess, as GoFundMe. And or should I say the other way around. And I've started one for March 2016, a fundraiser. We've already had like 20 quid for it, which is really awesome. Plus we know somebody who works at the company, who's based in Canada, and she has helped us waiver costs and credit card transactions and various things, which was the killer really in GoFundMe. GoFundMe took about £200-300 in charges over the total, which I ended up having to put in with my GoPro sale and my DSLR, which has left me completely skint for Christmas. I've literally got like 20 quid and I have no idea how I'm going to get my daughter presents for Christmas. So I'm desperate to find temporary work and do my Fiverr and my Udemy stuff over the next couple of weeks, because it's now like the 16th of December. So I've got to like find some money and presents in the next 9 days. I kind of knew that it would be like this. I did have a little bit of money, but when I got back I realised that I was going to run out of data, so I had to spend 20 quid on getting myself 3G data just so I can be online, unlimited data. But do check out the link I put in the chat. It's tilt.com/tilts/Austin-homeless-2016. We're going to spend a lot more time over in Austin. We're going to do it a little bit different this time, and all the stuff that we learned from the New York City trip. I'm going to interface directly with the Austin Homeless Centre. I normally go to South by Southwest in March for 2 weeks or 10 days to go to the conference and pay for a conference ticket and to go to all the panels and all that stuff. I'm not doing that this year. I'm not doing any of that whatsoever, because 2 blocks over, ever since 2008, the 5 years I've been going to, the 5 years after that of going to South by Southwest, I've always had this nagging feeling that you've got this polar opposite of the conference centre, which has got money and wealth and people of like the middle classes, high society going upwards, and then 2 blocks over you've got like people who are literally starving and see this big event going on and they don't know what to do. Azrael said, I'm in Dallas, could I join you? Absolutely, you can join us. Absolutely, the more the better. So the idea with the homeless centre is that we want to help out, do prep and serve, similar thing. You know, whatever we can do, 4 hours in the day, that'll be absolutely fine, 4 or 5 hours in the day. But also I want to do my kind of a live Udemy course. Magda, welcome. Your first day on Blab. I just got a little message on the right hand side, welcome to Blab. So yeah, the Austin thing will be about me doing digital training, live digital training, probably do 2 or 3 sessions a day for an hour each session. Get them to get online in terms of my Udemy course for training people who are homeless and digital nomads, and that's kind of like getting up to date with tools, you know, being able to submit CVs, using the cloud better. And it'll be a totally free course, and I'll probably do that, like I say, 2 or 3 times in the day. And then still be able to enjoy, here's the interesting thing, still being able to enjoy the Austin trip. So at night, just being able to go out into the Austin nightlife with all the startups and all the buzz and everything. Feel like I've done something really useful and beneficial and philanthropy in the day. And then 5 o'clock onwards, just jump back into the South by buzz with all the VIP parties and all my friends that I've known. But do South by in a different way. I know about a year ago, 2 years ago, there was a brand that was kind of enabling homeless people with like MiFis, and you basically give them $1 or $2 to connect to their hotspot, which at the time I was on the fence with. I'm not quite sure how I feel about somebody being used as a hotspot and they get some money, but it kind of gave the homeless people visibility, and that's kind of what it's about really, is visibility. 4 or 5 years ago, if it wasn't for visibility of social media, using Audio Boo, doing little audio posts, I think I would have been on the streets and I would have been sort of gone. If if it wasn't for people in a city about an hour away saying we've got a spare room, you can come and stay with us, and then me staying there for 3 years. If it wasn't for social media and using social media, then I would have been absolutely screwed, and I'm forever in their debt because of the opportunity to get my shit together. And I think that's what a lot of people want, is they want an opportunity to get their shit together. So that's kind of what I want to give back in that sense. So yeah, we're saving up for some money. We're going to put some perks on there at some point. Not quite sure what the perks are going to be, but we've got like 3 months to make that happen. Originally, we were going to drive an RV from New York all the way down to Austin and live stream the whole thing, Periscope it, all that sort of stuff. But actually thinking now, the RV trip that we did in 2012, I think it was, 2013, that was from Chicago to Austin, and that worked so much better. It took about 3 days. I think we can do it in 2 days if we don't stop as much. But it'd be nice to get a group of us together. I am not going to do all the organisation for the March one. I'm literally going to raise enough funds. Whatever funds we've got will depend on like how we get there. In terms of how much fuel, how much the RV is, how many people are going to be in the RV. It might be that we just travel like me and another, or me and a couple of people, and then other people just fly directly into Austin, and then we all meet up and stay at an RV park. But all that's logistics. We'll deal with that at some point. A few things I want to get off my chest, some stuff that I found in the last few days. Where is my notepad? I haven't opened anything up. I can't believe it. What am I up to here? I'm up to 16 minutes. Jesus, I've gone over today, so I'm going to be really quick. I'm going to be working on some blog posts, obviously, to catch you up about the NYC trip. It was, like I say, it was awesome. We did what we needed to do. I also need to write some blog posts up for XCOM Global, who provided us a MiFi device for New York, which was invaluable. You know, just being able to have data absolutely everywhere. If you are traveling anywhere in the world and you're worried about roaming or SIM cards or all that stuff, or even if your provider said that you can roam in a country, be very careful of that, because the girls that went thought they could roam and had issues with their phone. XComGlobal.com, absolutely brilliant MiFi devices. You rent it for the whole week or 2 weeks, whatever you're going for. They send you a MiFi device, which is unlimited data that you can use for the country that you're going to. Absolutely brilliant service. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some posts about the food banks. Also, some stuff that I've found recently. The delivery.com was awesome while we were over there, and there's a big offer on delivery.com at the moment where you get like $13. So if you live in the States, I'm going to put a little link here. If you're not using delivery.com yet, delivery.com, yeah, it's right there. Delivery.com share code. It basically gives you $13 off your first order, which is just awesome for just signing up. So like we paid $6 for like a no, it was a bit more than that. We paid about $8 for an order that was like $25, and we got like a 16-inch pizza and whatever, and it cost us next to nothing. Between us, it cost us $2 each, which, you know, like can't complain at that, the delivery. And so we use that, delivery.com. If you're in the States, do use that link. What else? I've got a bunch of notes. I've got so much stuff to tell you about. I've applied. Also, this is kind of cool, and I'll be following up on this in the next couple of weeks. Do subscribe to me at blab.im/Phil Campbell, by the way, because I do this show at like 10:58 every morning, 2 minutes to 11. 11ish. I record it for about 15-20 minutes. I put the high quality version on YouTube. But I've got so much stuff to tell you about. One of the things I'm going to finish on today is that I have applied for e-residency in Estonia. Now you're probably thinking, what the fuck did he just say? Really? Estonia? Why Estonia? Estonia is the first country in the world to offer a digital ID e-residency card. So in terms of if you were going to go and live in another country, you have to apply for citizenship, and it can take like 4 or 5 years. You have to get married, you have to blah 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 blah, you have to do all that stuff. Estonia have realized that they're losing a lot of their talent, their digital talent, to other countries, and they're worried about what happens to the economy of the country if you don't have these high-tech, sort of high-growth industry creatives in your country. So they're offering this e-residency card. You apply for it, it's €50, and then you have to pick up the e-residency digital ID card from an embassy in your country. So mine's in London, so I have to travel to London to get it. So I'm excited about like documenting the whole thing and picking that up and showing you what it's all about. But it basically means that you can do your taxes, you can set up a business there, you can get in and out of Estonia at the sort of borders. You just show your digital ID card. And it's the first country in the world to offer e-residency. So you're an electronic resident, but you can actually live there as well. And you can do all your billing and all your finance. And basically what Estonia get out of it is that they can have these freelancers. They realise by 2035, like a report I read recently, that 1 billion of us worldwide are going to be freelancers. By 2035, 60% of the American population will be freelancers. That's a huge figure. So imagine if you're a freelancer and you're constantly moving around the world because you're a freelancer. You can, you're independent, location independent, agnostic, if you like. They realise that they're going to have all these people in different places. Different money is going to be different in different places. They want to be able to say that their economy, that you're paying money into their economy, and if you can do that electronically, so all your billing and everything is all on this sort of digital ID card, then it keeps their economy afloat, because even though you're traveling around, you're still doing business in Estonia. So super excited about that. I've always loved the idea of being an electronic resident in different countries, being able to jump into different countries and being able to set up an electronic business easily. So for instance, I might have a Team Humble store which is based with an address in Estonia while I'm traveling around, just so that I've got a base of operations. So more on that soon. I'll put a link in there about the Estonia thing if you are interested in that. Let me just see if I can find it. He says all that. Yeah, I've got it here. So if you want to have a look about that Estonia residency, it is here. Go and have a look. Check that out. That's me for today, everybody. I appreciate you coming and dropping by. There'll be more updates tomorrow. I'm looking for temporary work in a minute, so these might be a bit irregular over the next couple of weeks until we get to Christmas Day. I'm going to be live pretty much all Christmas Day, watching films and drinking port and having cheese. I'm on my own on Christmas Day. I've got my daughter on Christmas Eve. Maybe go and see her Christmas Day morning. So there'll be a bunch of periscoping and probably a long day online, so you can come and tell me what presents and stuff you've had for Christmas. I don't pretty much have a lot for Christmas, but I kind of like it that way in some ways. That's not to say I don't like gifts. So if you want to send gifts, that's cool as well. Right, okay, that's me for today. I will catch up with you tomorrow. Do check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/R3Wines. Also on Twitter @PhilCampbell. And I will see you later. Goodbye.